Hey, what's up, guys? We're back. We're gonna try something different. I found like 5 or 6 or 7 different short clips, 1, 2 minute long clips of some of the craziest shit that I've seen on YouTube yet or recently. So we'll watch this and cover some of it, kind of do some breakdowns. But real quick, my name is Saxon. I go by Vegas here in Ukraine. I joined the International Legion for the Defense of Ukraine in January of 2023. I'm still in Ukraine. I'm no longer with the Legion. I'm now with Azov, specifically Azov's International Battalion. We just got off a deployment, did really, really solid work. I do recommend if you're on your way out to Ukraine or you know somebody in Ukraine, you've been considering it, come join Azov. If it's not Azov, at least do your research and join a solid unit. Okay, that's the whole purpose of this channel, is to make sure foreigners go to a decent unit that they don't get just immediately smashed in a different unit that doesn't take care of their foreigners as well. Okay, couple of things. If you do apply, the link will be in the description below. You got to speak fluent English, have to have a passport, and make sure you've got one of the 3 apps downloaded: WhatsApp, Signal, and Telegram, so the recruiters can contact you after you fill out the application. Okay, so those are the big ones. We can jump into this. I'm gonna keep this video is gonna end up being kind of short because I have a feeling we're gonna get age restricted because some of these are kind of gnarly. But fuck it, let's do it. So this one says Russian sergeant captures Ukrainian trench, eliminating 3 soldiers, taking prisoners in battle. This is gnarly. Viewer discretion advised. Be warned, okay? There's no audio on this clip, so we can kind of talk through it. This is our Russian sergeant right here, clearly on an assault. He somehow made it up to the Ukrainian trench. Here's the Ukrainian trench. You got 1, 2, and then 3 right here. 1, 2, 3 Ukrainians defending this trench right here. Russian sergeant moving up. Clearly got a dead dude right here already. These guys are in a pretty gnarly firefight, or they think they are. And here comes, oh boy. Boom. All 3 Ukrainians smashed. Awful. This dude is, I don't know if he's a special operator or something like that, but to have the balls to assault a trench, the enemy's in, by yourself, no helmet on, and he hit these three Ukrainians in all headshots. You'll see that at the end of this video. He hits all of them in headshots and then takes 2 Ukrainians prisoner right here. He might not be a tier 1 operator, but this dude is very well trained, okay? Bottom line, he's not your average Joe. I don't like giving props to the fucking invaders, the Russian dogs, but this is an important learning experience, I think. And unfortunately, it cost those 3 guys their lives, and probably these 2 as well, because we know Russia doesn't take care of their POWs very well. Okay, so here's a different perspective. Here comes our boy, the Peter Russ. He's creeping up here. Our Ukrainians are fighting right here. A couple things before we see this. Of course, every situation's different. I'm not going to critique as much as share how I would have done something different here. You've got to have all your angles covered. You have to have your different sectors of fire covered. You have to know where, at least have a general idea of where the enemy's coming from, and know that your flanks are covered, right? So clearly their flank wasn't covered, or it was covered, and the person or people defending the flank were killed, and they did not, and there was no notification to these guys over here. These guys are also very close together, so if there was a drone drop, an artillery strike, a mortar, they're both dead. That also makes it much easier to chain headshots like you're about to see him do. One, two, three. I'm not gonna go back over it. You're welcome to do it. I know we're already pushing the limits on what we can show in this video. But you'll see he hits all three of those guys multiple times in the head with that one AK mag. That's not easy to do, dude. And I'm gonna have all of our fucking armchair John Wicks in the comments like, "Oh, you should be able to do that. It's really simple, actually. If you think it, shut the fuck up." Okay, there's nothing easy about doing what that Russian did right there. So that's really shitty to see Ukrainians get taken out like that in something that does look like it could have been preventable. But this is war, dude. All right, let's move on from this one. We got this next one. This one does have audio, and it's very short, but it shows the Ukrainians taking out a Russian in a trench or in a foxhole right here. This dude's got a pistol on him right here, which I found interesting. So there's a couple things to break down in this one. As someone who's been on bunker clearing assault like this is pretty standard operation for every single hole that you pass. Whether or not there's a Russian in it, you don't know. And you're not going to stick your head in there to find out. So usually throw a frag in, sometimes two, sometimes three, depending on how big you think the hole is. And then you dump a handful of rounds and then keep moving, right? It looks like that's what they were doing here. And then there was somebody in here, and he started firing back. And I believe the Ukrainian with the pistol is the one that yells. He probably got hit. He dives back, and then our cameraman, gunman right here, I think finishes the Russian. So let's watch that again. Because our cameraman, our gunman with the camera on him, he wouldn't have switched his sector of fire that close to the enemy if he knew there was someone in there, right? You can see he switches because his boy's looking at the hole. He switches his sector of fire down range, looking for anybody that could be popping up out of any of the other probably tens of holes in front of him, and then they start firing. See, he's looking. Oh shit. I will say, I was never a big fan of sidearms. I did carry a sidearm, but I never really saw the practical application of it. I figured anytime I would have a possibility to use my pistol in a gunfight, I would rather just use my AR, right? My UAR-15. But my buddy Ivan, who I also served in the Legion with, who is in Azov with me as well, proved me very much wrong. On one of his first missions, he killed 3 Russians by crawling into a trench just like that, fucking Vietnam style, with a pistol. And 1, 2, 3. There was 3 Russians in there. I had no idea he was there. And he took them all out, 1 shot each, and then dead checked them, and then moved on. I was like, okay, I'll bring my pistol on the missions, all right? You proved me wrong. Shout out to Ivan. He doesn't watch the videos, but maybe if he hears I shouted him out, he'll watch. Let's watch this one. This I actually heard about, which is crazy. Ukrainians deliver an e-bike to a wounded soldier. So that drone's got to be what we call a Baba Yaga, which is a vampire style drone, which is the only drone that I'm aware of that would have the ability to carry an e-bike. I know those bikes are not extremely heavy, but they're heavy enough, and it would have to be a big drone. So they dropped it. He made it 400 meters, then he hit a mine, survived, and kept walking. Can't kill that guy. This is interesting. He's got no helmet, no plate carrier. Dude, it looks like he's wearing slides, not combat boots, and like a hoodie. This is interesting. Hey man, this is becoming more and more common for drones. Basically, places where infantry soldiers cannot get to help resupply or support. They're sending drones. They can drop ammo. They can drop medical supplies. They can drop food. They can drop water. We ran out of water once on an operation, and we had a drone come and drop water off for us. Very cool. And we were deep, right? We were pretty far in, and the fact that that drone was able to come deliver water when we needed it and then take off was like next level support. This one, if I remember correctly, I watched the very beginning. This is gonna get some hate in the comments. I'll let you guys watch first. A little bit of prefacing. This Russian looked like he was either hiding or stuck in that little marsh. He also looks wounded. He doesn't have any of his gear on, and he's being hunted right now. So to me, that looked like it would have killed him, but it says 300, which means wounded. Oh, he's probably dead there. Oh, they were gonna finish him. Yeah, he's gone. $200. Let me tell you, dude, you can hear when they release those grenades. That is, in the movies they have like that comment, like when your life flashes before your eyes. That's that moment, right? When you hear that release, they release the grenade. Um, you're just hoping and praying, dude, because they can be so accurate with these. I saw one time, they hit someone in the head, like purposely, directly, and this guy was moving, hit him in the head with a drop grenade. Now, I'm sure. Sorry, we just got a new sub. Um, I'm sure there's some luck that plays into that, but a lot of skill does too. Oh, that was direct. Those are bigger than frags, whatever this drone's dropping. Okay, a couple things just to address the comments that I know are already down there talking about how are you going to hunt down a wounded soldier, or, I know they're down there. Listen, I don't have sympathy, man. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it because I don't. These guys, either willingly or unwillingly, no matter what, they are in another country's land, and this country is fighting for their lives. These invaders came, raped, pillaged, murdered, destroyed their homes, their children, their women. Dude, if I always use this as an example. If you're an American or you're from the UK, because that's where most of our viewers are from, if an enemy invaded your country, they did what they did to the women of your country, the children of your country, the men of your country for the last 3.5 years, tell me if this footage would still upset you. Or if you'd be like, that's what they fucking get. If this was your country, right, and it was your father who died on the front line, and it was your wife who was one of the ones that they raped and took with them back to Russia, or it was your child that they took and now is being trafficked in Asia. Now tell me, I know it wasn't those two guys specifically, right? But it doesn't matter. They're fighting for that nation who's doing that to you. Okay. Which one is this? Don't remember. Oh yeah. Couple things before this dude smokes this Russian. These are ideal conditions to move as an assault team, a recon team, anybody who's going to be operating past the zero. Because, like I mentioned in multiple other videos, the weather like this is what you pray for as really anybody on the front or in range of drones, because it's much harder for drones to see you and operate in this kind of weather. Second, when the terrain is wet like this, it's so much easier to be quiet and sneak up on somebody where you're literally like 10 yards away, 10 meters away from the enemy. This guy clearly doesn't know he's there. But with that said, these guys were still getting hammered with artillery and mortars on their way in. That's just constant, no matter what, always happening. There's always danger. There's always indirect fire. There's always a chance that one of those things hits you on your way in, even if it wasn't meant for you. Let's watch. Oh. Yeah, that'll do it. I've gotten a couple questions about these like bands, these flags tied around trees and stuff. There's a few reasons that this happens. For one, it's to lead in troops that are deployed. If they're deployed to a staging position, right? Maybe it's a couple tree lines back or a couple tree lines down or around the corner. You'll follow the flags until you get to the position that you're going to rotate out the guys that are currently there. It's kind of like leaving breadcrumbs, so you know where to go and how to get out, right? The colors don't matter typically. Sorry, I have to skip that. Like I said, we're pushing the boundaries here. This probably has already been banned, and I got a strike on my fucking channel at this point. But this is some of the most important shit for that I can break down because it's the most real, right? So we'll see how this goes. Anyways, those guys just annihilated those three Russians, and then they got looted. They're checked for intelligence. They're checked for cameras, phones, GoPros, documents, maps, their identification, patches for what units they're in, all that radios. CCO. Somebody tell me who CCO is. These are the boys right here. These are the guys that the Russians have nightmares about. A bunch of guys in leaf suits with sweet rifles, AR-15s, AR-10s, mini machine guns, and they've got GoPros. They've got different optics. These are the kinds of units that are currently making a massive difference on the front line, bigger than anybody realizes. Guys like this can take back kilometers of land because both Russians and Ukrainians are spread so thin. There could be a whole tree line, and the Russians have put 2 guys in there to hold it, right? But on a map that says that's Russian's territory now. That's Russian. That's a Russian line. You send these boys in, and they just clean up, and they clean up those 2 dudes. Let's say in total they clean up 6 dudes, 2 guys in each tree line. Now they've cleared 6 kilometers of land back for the Ukrainians, and now these are logistics and supply lines. Now you can pump up TDF soldiers, National Guard units, the heroes that hold the trenches, right? Now you pump these boys into that area that your recce boys just took. Boom, that changed the entire landscape of that part of the front. These guys right here are who's making the difference right now. Teams like this. CCO, who is that? Oh. How are we doing? 23 minutes in. We got time for one more maybe. Which one? Let's make it a good one. Okay. This gives you a good idea and kind of what not to do. These guys were moving to a position or from a position that got pinned down by artillery. No disrespect ever to these guys, because these guys are the real heroes of Ukraine, right? But a couple of things. If you start getting hit with mortars or artillery, we've talked about this in other videos. In this battlefield, these conditions, you cannot stay put. Right? Unless you have a really, really solid defensible position where you're deep underground, you can't stay put. You have to continue to move because they will zero in on your position. It's not if, it's when. And they'll also start dispatching the dropper drones, the FPVs. They could dispatch an assault unit or vehicle to come take you out. You have to continue to move. And here's why. That's artillery. I've been that close to incoming already. That'll shake your bones. You feel that in your chest. Now they're kind of like, okay, maybe we should move. it looks like there's nowhere to go, dude, because there really isn't. But no matter what, you have to continue to move in this kind of a situation. I hope and pray these guys all made it out all right, because they are, like I said, these are the heroes. These are the guys that are holding the trench lines, doing the jobs that nobody else wants to do. Heroes, baby. All right, we'll end it at that. 26 minutes. Let's hope that this video didn't get taken down or get me a strike on my channel. If any of that did happen, do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, blow this video up, because they're probably gonna just tank the organic viewership. So with that said, if you're on your way out to Ukraine, you're thinking about it, you know somebody that's coming out, hit us up over here at Azov, links in the description below. Download WhatsApp, Signal, Telegram, so the recruiters can talk to you, they can message you. Speak English, have a passport. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next video.